It's been several years since I last attended Dublin Comic Con, but I still follow their Facebook page for updates. On February 2nd, 2024, they announced the latest guest who would be attending the next convention, the one and only Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed himself. Not even a few hours later, that very same day, the news broke that Carl Weathers had sadly passed away. Dublin Comic Con quickly updated their announcement post, expressing condolences to his family and friends. When I read the guest announcement, I actually considered buying a ticket myself just to meet the man. But sadly, that chance has now been lost. I can, however, honour the great actor that Carl Weathers was by rewatching one of his most iconic films, Predator. The 1987 classic by die-hard director John McTiernan effortlessly combined the science fiction, action and horror genres all into one amazingly brutal and badass all-time great. Arnold Schwarzenegger stars as Major Dutch Schaefer, leader of an elite commando squad deployed into the South American jungle under false pretenses.
It's all bullshit. All of it.
CIA backstabbing and testosterone-fueled tensions are soon overshadowed by a much bigger problem the team must face. An alien trophy hunter that is determined to pick them off one by one. It's a great film that needs no introduction, even though I just gave it one, and features some truly awesome kill sequences courtesy of the titular Predator itself. So today, in memory of Carl Weathers, I'm going to rank those kills in order of my own personal preference. If you think that's a waste of time, let me tell you, making YouTube videos like these will make you a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus. Just like me. Poncho, as played by Richard Chavez, seems like a pretty likable guy, but tends to be a bit overshadowed by some of the bigger personalities in the cast, to the point that it seems the filmmakers themselves forgot he was even in the movie, and only remembered right before the climax that they needed to kill him off. As such, Poncho's death is an afterthought, and almost blink and you'll miss it blast to the face from the Predator's plasma caster. His head doesn't even explode or anything cool like that, he just hits the floor like a sack of spuds and that's that. Only a few minutes earlier he survived being knocked off his feet by a booby-trapped log, which launched him 20 feet into the air. If the log had actually splattered him like in a Final Destination movie and that had been his death, he might have ranked a bit higher on this list. Shane Black's Hawkins was the first to die at the hands of the Predator, when he became separated from the rest of his team while chasing down the runaway rebel girl Anna. Maybe he wanted to ask her how big her pussy was.
Jeez, you got a big pussy.
Anyway, the Predator jumps out of the bushes and slices poor Hawkins to pieces, before dragging his body away to be skinned alive. The first glimpse of the Predator is a little dodgy, but nonetheless this is a significant moment in the film, as it begins to reveal its true nature as not just a military action film, but actually a science fiction horror story. You know, as long as you ignore the opening scene, which kinda spoils that. Billy was the first team member to realize that they were being hunted by something not of this world.
There's something in those trees.
And after half the team had been wasted, he decided he was tired of running. His chances of survival already slim, Billy chose to die like an honourable warrior, not only going down in a blaze of glory, but also buying his remaining teammates some time to, well, you know what they were trying to do.
Get to the chopper!
Billy tosses his gear into the river, pulls out a knife that's bigger than my dick, and cuts a massive slice across his own chest. Okay Billy, you do you. Of course, the actual fight with the Predator, and with it Billy's demise, actually happens off screen, but it's the dramatic build-up that makes this one so memorable, and of course, Sonny Landham's steely performance that made Billy such an iconic character. As Blaine, Jesse the Body Ventura gets all the best lines in Predator.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
He also gets one of the best deaths, getting his chest cavity blown open wider than Shane Black's girlfriend's vagina.
Jeez, you got a big pussy.
Seriously, look how gnarly that is. You can see his ribcage sticking out. That's just, mwah, chef's kiss. Bill Duke's role as Mac is a strong contender for my favourite character in the movie. I mean, it's a tough choice because everyone's great, but I really love his performance here. Mac starts out as cool, calm and collected, but quickly becomes totally unhinged after his best mate Blaine gets iced by the Pred. He goes fucking berserk on this poor unfortunate boar. No one slaughters a pig the way Bill Duke slaughters a pig.
Do you think you could have found something bigger?
Yeah, fuck you, Roger. Fuck
Fuck you.
Mac does have to lose some points, however, for being kind of a dumbass in his final moments. He spots the Predator's laser pointer aimed at his arm, and rather than get the fuck out of Dodge, he moves his head directly in the way of the laser sight. How he lasted this long as a soldier, I'll never know. It's all made up for, though, with the spectacular shot of his head exploding as the Predator squeezes off the fatal shot. Oh man, that never gets old. Of course, the best Predator kill had to be Dylan, played by the late great Carl Weathers.
You son of a bitch.
Arguably the best developed character in the film, Dylan was the reason Dutch and his team were in the jungle in the first place, and as such he was somewhat responsible for their deaths.
Bullshit.
Seeking redemption, Dylan chooses to abandon safety in numbers and confront the Predator alone. Well, alongside Mac, but what good is Mac in a firefight? He enjoys putting his face directly in front of guns. Anyway, poor Dylan promptly gets his ass handed to him when the Predator blows his fucking arm right off with his plasma caster. Hope that wasn't his wanking hand. But Dylan isn't going down without a fight and keeps right on shooting with his other arm. But alas, his efforts are in vain. The Predator finishes him off with a gauntlet knife to the gut, and Weathers lets out one of the greatest death cries you're ever likely to hear. It's an incredible sequence, as badass can be, and the look of sheer terror on Weathers' face as he realizes it's game over is genuinely haunting. Oh, and when his arm gets shot off, it keeps firing the machine gun. It's details like this that make Predator a cut above the rest. So there you have it, my personal ranking of the kills in the action classic Predator. If you disagree with me, please post your own ranking below. I would genuinely love to read them. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest schlock horror happenings. And as always, thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are. Take care, I'll see you soon.